following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Britt Johnson, and Newy Scruggs.
That is what I'm talking about, okay? My name, you guys said it took months and months for you guys to get your name in the intro. I say it one time, that's how you do. You know, I just pay people off. That's
they
what
probably
I do.
never cried about it. That's probably what happened.
Yeah, we didn't give them a hard time. You know, we were okay with it.
Mine was not a hard time. I was just like, dang, can I get in the intro?
Yeah, you know.
And I got there.
Well, you making stuff happen. So
yeah, I'm trying. Welcome to the Players Lounge Friday edition, post-game edition. I'm Britt Johnson. I'm here with Danny McCray. Barry Church and Newy are both out today, but we have the boss man himself.
Oh,
my boss is here, just review. You know, he's just going to be here reviewing, judging everything that I do.
Exactly.
I just feel it.
Well, wait. Before we get too deep into this, I got to make sure I put this on camera, okay? Because once again, I'm here. Barry's not here. And Newy's not here, all right? They made sure to make a big moment of it, of the fact that I had been out. I was on vacation. They held it down while I was gone. Newy wasn't here on the previous show.
Right.
And then Barry and Newy aren't here for this show. So
okay.
That's on camera, and I want everybody to know that I'm here and I'm ready to work.
And I'm pretty sure Barry is partying right now. You know? He's living it up.
Or on a flight.
Yeah.
I saw Newy in Tampa, so I kind of understand maybe why he wasn't in the last two shows. You know, he was at the game, but I don't know about Barry.
You were in Tampa?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking because you're on the show.
But he's here.
Yeah. So
that's true. But I'll say this: I did get to fly the charter home last night. They didn't get that. I'm sure if he would have had that option. He definitely would have taken it.
It's okay, man. They got live view and stuff, but I'm gonna get off. Get off. It's okay because I'm here. All right. I love the team that we have here. It's gonna be an amazing show. So shout out to us.
I worked my first game yesterday, and I didn't travel, and I'm really tired. So congratulations for being here today, Nick, because I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know. I got home at like 12:30, and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. What is life? What is life? The game yesterday. You know, I've always been a fan of Too Short, but yesterday I was not because we lost by 2 points. Final score 31-29. Bucks win the game.
I like that headline, though, didn't you?
You know, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take credit for that one.
I read his story and I was like, you know what? That's like Too Short, from California. You know, got to do a little West Coast, Best Coast.
Yeah.
Next game is against West Coast team, Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium. I'm honestly kind of sad that I will not be at that game because I've been seeing SoFi being built for years, last 2 years, and I have not gotten to go in the stadium. Last year, they did not have fans in the stands, and I'm really sad about that one. But that is on September 19th, so the Cowboys have a little bit of time to kind of work on some things from now till then. But just before we get into depth of more stuff, what was your guys' just first initial thought after watching the game? Just your first kind of instinct.
Yeah, it was a little tough just because I had actually thought the game was going to go that way. I said that we would lose by 4. We lost by 2.
You did.
I knew that we were going to come out and throw the ball all over the place. I did not expect us to run the ball as little as we did. I thought that we would try a little bit harder or get Zeke more involved in the passing game. I think he caught 2 passes, so that was a little difficult. The special teams play was a little shaky. Missed some field goals. I watched kickoff. I watched punt. You know, we gave up some yardage there. Some of the kickoffs were a little strange. But it's week 1. So we got some stuff that we can fix. There's a lot of positives coming out of the game. Dak looked great. Offensive line looked way better than I thought they would look. And we went toe-to-toe with the defending Super Bowl champions. No moral victories here, but if you're looking for good things to pull out of this game, there are a few of them.
Nick?
Yeah, I just wanted to see them be a better football team. I mean, than what we saw last year. And I don't know if they're a good team a great team, but I do think that they're better than what we saw. And because Tampa is a perfect benchmark to start this off. Tom Brady's going to be Tom Brady, and he was. And, they're a well-oiled machine. They got 22 starters back. Everyone's, been talking about that. And they came out there, like you said, Danny, they went toe-to-toe, and they didn't win. And that's the next step. That's what you want to be a really good team. You got to take that step. And they weren't there. They left Tom Brady too much time, and that's what happened. But if you play like that, you're going to beat a lot of teams on your schedule, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially considering we have the third easiest schedule according to ESPN and NFL, and we don't have another playoff team that we're going to be playing from last season until week 11, which will be the Kansas City Chiefs. So hopefully we can get it done.
Those stats I don't buy into.
What?
Because
the easy schedules?
The last year was last year. Yeah. Teams are totally different coming into a new season. Like you think about the Chargers who we're going to play. This is the second year of Herbert. And he's going to be, we assume he's going to be better than he was last year. They had some things go wrong for them last season, so I expect them to be better.
And also, think about it from the flip side. If someone was talking about the Cowboys the same way, they didn't make the playoffs, but from what they saw last night, I guarantee the Giants, Washington, the Eagles are like, dang. They have to be a little bit more worried about it because of what they saw.
Well, I'm excited from watching the game yesterday. Obviously, sucks that we lost, but after watching preseason, I had no idea what was going to happen, with the squad this year. And, even just looking at okay, who are they cutting? Who are they keeping? I don't know if this is going to work. We had, six or seven guys make their NFL debut last night and played in the game. So I was excited, especially to see what these young guys are going to do. I was not excited about my Chris Godwin and Jordan Lewis matchup that I had thought was going to be great. It started off good, but didn't turn out the way. But we'll talk about that later a little bit. But to go back to your point, you kind of made it a big point of saying you hope the pass and run game is split and Dak doesn't have to do as much, Typically, I think people kind of wanted it to stay around. Maybe he passes for 35 attempts or whatever, and he passed for 58, which was tying his career high. Zeke, we didn't see him used a lot. He rushed 11 times for 33 yards and then caught 3 passes for 19 yards. What were your thoughts on that? Why do you think that happened?
Listen, this trend has been going on since last year, and Mike McCarthy is not known for, utilizing the run that much in his offense, and I think we're going to continue to see that go the same way. I'm still going to say that we have a $90 million running back in the backfield. I would like to see him used more, even if the game dictates that we're not going to be able to run off tackle, run up the middle. I think there are still some other creative ways that we can get Zeke the ball. I think if you're going to use him like you used him last night, then Tony Pollard should not be getting full series. I think that Zeke should still be in the game, getting some of those touches that Tony Pollard got, because he needs to be feeling like he's involved in the game. And I think last night, besides him being a blocker, he was kind of a non-factor. So I don't think that we can continue to go that way. I think we're going to need Zeke to carry us through the rest of the season, but I don't really have confidence in seeing that many changes.
I kind of appreciated the fact that Kellen Moore didn't try to just, run the ball just because we've seen that here before. Like, it's not working, but no, we do what we do, big on big. And it's like, well, you're not big enough. You're not big enough to go big on big. And that happens too many times. And so I like the fact that they went sideline to sideline and they tried to, stretch it out. Now, the run to Zeke at the goal line, I've said this for a long time. The tight ends can catch the ball, but they're a problem when it comes to blocking, especially on the edge.
Especially Jarwin.
That play, we saw that in the preseason, though. We did see a play, and he didn't. He just barely got a hand on it.
And that's a block in space as well. So not even just, somebody on the end of the line of scrimmage. And this is a safety and a linebacker. So
you need to just chuck him just a little bit, get him off, and then you would think that Zeke could do the rest. But the guy, you got to give him credit. The guy made a great play.
Made a great play,
and that I mean, that was a game-changing play for them.
Yeah, being in this building yesterday, seeing that play, all the guys in the room were like, what? How do you miss that tackle? Like, how do you not do something there to kind of at least give him a step back to where Zeke has a little bit of time to, get into that end zone? I thought it was unfortunate. It was sad.
I'm never going to be happy with how we used Zeke last night. Just to be clear, 11 rushes, 2 catches. Never going to be happy with it. That's why I say when Tony Pollard got in the game, we went first down, second down, I believe, in the second quarter. And on the third down, we ran it. We ran like a draw. Didn't get it, and we had to punt. And I'm just like, the flow of that just doesn't make sense. You might as well just go ahead and throw it all 3 downs if you're going to do it that way.
Right. I didn't understand that series either.
Yeah. I'm like, and then it's a whole series of Tony Pollard. So you got Zeke in here blocking for 6-7 downs, picking up these rushers, and then you put Tony Pollard in there. He gets a screen pass. Yeah. He's pitching and doing all type of stuff, and then Zeke is, he's blocking.
I mean, he also ran them from the fullback position.
Yeah.
I was like, that. I had never seen that one before.
Yeah, it's literally confusing that you would. He's slimmer, he's faster, he's quicker. So you assume that he's going to get a screen. Maybe line up at the 1 and catch whatever. Didn't happen. You seen Leonard Fournette out there catching screens and running to the flat. You seen the same thing with Ronald Jones and Giovanni Bernard, and they still got their running backs involved in the game. And I feel like we totally took Zeke out besides him being used as a blocker.
Right, I agree. But I think the Bucks run game yesterday kind of reminded me of that old school Giants team that had, like, they called him Earth, Wind, and Fire with Ahmad Bradshaw and Derek Ward and Brandon Jacobs, because you do have, like, the different sizes and speeds, and they all can do different things. And I want Tony Pollard to do what he does, and I want Zeke to do what he does. And I want to be able to utilize both of them. I think both of them should be able to be in the game even at the same time doing different kind of things, and I don't think that necessarily is being done. But I like Tony Pollard a lot, and I think he's a great running back, and I know everybody's like, oh, give Zeke the ball, feed Zeke, because we're paying him, but I like Tony Pollard a lot, and I liked the way Kellen Moore kind of honestly confused everybody a little bit. He had so many different unique play calls and stuff, and I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was, just from a fan perspective, it was really fun to watch the game, even though, there were times where like, what is happening here? Like, oh, why did we miss that? And whatever. I thought it was really fun and exciting, and it wasn't something so left field that you're like, bro, like, don't do that. Because I feel like last season we took maybe more chances in certain times where we shouldn't have, like, going for it on 4th down or whatever, different things like that. And I don't think we did that. I think we played smart still, and we were just trying to figure out, because we didn't get that in preseason. We did not get those opportunities to kind of play with stuff as much because a lot of the starters weren't playing. And so I was excited to see all of the stuff that we did yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, you're right about the Pollard and Zeke and mixing it up. And Kellen Moore did a nice job. He really did, because again, like I said, I just don't think he looked at that matchup and said, we're not going to win this one. Not right now. Zach Martin comes back, it could be a different story, somewhat, but still think, when, and I said this on the last show, when you get down in the red zone, you still have to be able to knock them back, and that is going to be a problem. And I think that they need to. I mean, why do the Bucks put Vita Vea in at defensive tackle? Why don't the Cowboys do something like that? If you need some beef in there in the middle, do something different. And that's one thing I'd like to see them on the red zone.
So if you go, like, I'm going to go back and watch all 11 of Zeke's runs, because I don't feel like we were getting killed in the run game.
You could do that in the break.
That's
probably.
what I'm saying.
I mean, we could put it on quick.
But I don't feel like we were getting killed in the run game like that. Like, he broke for a 13-yard run. One of his runs was from fullback. He was falling forward on some of his runs. You're not going to break every single one, but he was making something happen. I feel like if you give him a few more opportunities, then you also have the option when you get in the red zone, which is holding us back again.
You're saying that you think that they kind of just gave up before they even started. Like, they just went in saying that we're not going to get this.
I think it was more like a 3rd and 4th thought to run the ball. I think it was like, oh yeah, we haven't ran in a long time. Let's go ahead and get a run in.
I feel like they did what they had to do. I mean, you could clearly see pass protection was on point. I was the only one actually on the show on Wednesday that gave Connor McGovern like a little bit. I'm like, you guys, he should be getting better from last year. He was already getting better towards the end of last year. I get preseason, he wasn't the greatest, but I had faith in him, and he, I believe, showed up very well. I think our offensive line as a whole did very well. But our run game, I don't know. Our run protection just was not there for me. I didn't even just watching and just re-looking back at like when they would show different angles of the plays and stuff. I didn't see even space to go. I didn't see openings very often. And Vita Vea had people literally doing the Matrix, like people were all the way back trying to like stop him, and he was just unstoppable. Pass protection good, run, I just think it was a little stretch to try to do something there, and I don't know.
If we find a team that we can run against, I don't think that we're going to run the ball. We saw this last year as well when we thought that there were teams that we can outmuscle on the offensive line, take advantage of Zeke in the run game, and we didn't do it in those games either. So, I mean, I'm gonna keep saying
that was last year, like you said. That was last year.
We got the same offensive coordinator and head coach. The call is the same. It's not going to change.
Better.
It's not going to change. But like I said, at the end of the day, we lost. And if we would have played a little bit more keep away, I think we would have been okay. But it's a good game.
When you say keep away, you mean at the end of the game?
I really think that if we shorten the game by establishing the run, then we have a better chance of winning that game.
Well, even at the end of the game, I didn't like on that last drive that first, even though it was an incomplete pass, that shouldn't have been a pass. It should have been a run right away. On the first drive, their first play was a failed attempt to throw it, but it should have been a run.
Wasn't that back on their 8-yard line? You're talking about like after they got the fumble, or you mean once they got past midfield and were really like in field goal range? Because I know it's hard. All these plays kind of.
I don't remember it, but I'm still going to be the one banging on the table to say, hey, run it a little more, especially when you're going up against a team like that, and your defense is giving it up at that point because Tom Brady has us figured out. Figure out a way where if you establish the run at the beginning, then you kind of have something in your back pocket to go to. And I don't think we had that. And I'm still sitting on the price tag, right? Zeke is making $90. I know Zeke is great. I've seen him carry us for a lot of years, and I still think that he has that in him, especially when you in training camp and everybody's saying, hey, he's bigger. I mean, he's slimmer, he's faster, he's quicker. We saw none of what we expected to see from Zeke. And yes, we stayed in the game and we passed it 58 times and all that. I don't think that's a recipe for us to get to the Super Bowl.
Well, what do you think about this offensive line? Let's get into that a little bit more. That's what we were talking about all week. Zach Martin, he's not going to be there. He's not going to be. I thought Connor did great in place of him. Yes, you're not replacing Zach Martin, and I would never say something like that, but I do think that he did his job. Obviously, Connor Williams had a couple penalties, but to me, I feel like pick your poison, take the penalty instead of getting your quarterback hurt. And I think that he was in that position where it's like, okay, well, if I don't do a holding call here, they're getting to my quarterback. So to me, I'm fine with both of his penalties that were called on him. But what are your guys' thoughts, Nick, on the offensive line yesterday? How'd they look?
I thought they protected him. Like I said, they protected him pretty good there. They didn't even try to just run the ball behind them. But McGovern, and what it looked like to me, that he was doing like a lot of the calls. I mean, I guess that's what happens when he puts his hand out there and then all of a sudden Biadasz snaps it. So it looks like he's the one making a lot of the calls. I thought he did a nice job, and they think he possibly could be in their top 5 as their lineman when Zach comes back. And so, maybe he gets more work at center. Maybe he's a guy that eventually is the center. Or, Connor Williams is on a 1-year deal. I'm not 1-year deal, but this is his last year of his contract. So maybe this is a good opportunity for McGovern to kind of show that he's the future here as an offensive lineman. But it was a great test, and I thought he did a nice job.
Yeah, I thought the offensive line played well. They played better than I thought they would. I'm so happy that we held up on the tackle position. I was worried about Leal with the stinger. I was worried about Tyron just a little bit because he was coming off the year that he had with the surgery and stuff. I think they held up well, kept Dak clean for the most part. And listen, Vita Vea is going to be doing that to a lot of great offensive linemen this season. So take nothing away from those guys. They did what they could to hold to stop him from getting the Dak. So I'm actually really, really proud of the offensive line.
Biotish too. I mean,
I'm proud of them. I think they played well. Dak throws the ball 58 times. He's not getting killed back there. So he's doing a good job because we all know who the rushers are opposite of them. And Tampa Bay has some guys, and Todd Bowles is bringing the pressure. So I think they did good.
I think that we kind of overlooked Biotish a lot because McGovern is the guy that replaced Zach Martin on the fly. And, is he going to play? Is he not? It's going to be McGovern. But, I mean, he has eight starts. I mean, Biotish had 4 going in. There's still a lot of question marks there. So, he comes in the game and together, the 3 of them in the middle of the line, I thought held up pretty good. But again, they didn't just try to run behind them. They knew that wasn't going to be a favorable matchup.
I know. I know we keep going back to this. Even if it's not favorable, you got. This is why you paid this man this much money, because you believe even in those situations that he should be able to do something. Because it seems to me like some people are believing that this is going to change after this game, right? So if we play a defense who we believe isn't as good against the run, then all of a sudden Zeke's going to get 25, 30 carries, and I don't believe that's going to happen.
Well, we could talk about the offensive line probably the whole show. We could dedicate a show to it. But I want to talk about Micah Parsons, but I will wait till after the break to do that because I was actually very proud of him. We'll be right back in just a minute.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
I don't know if you guys missed it yesterday, but if you were not at the watch party at Miller Lite House, you missed a great party. Check out the new Miller Lite House located outside of AT&T Stadium, where Dallas Cowboy game day traditions are born. Enjoy yard games, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders performance, beer gardens, and more. For more information, visit attstadium.com/Miller Lighthouse. Miller Lighthouse, your tailgate just got jealous. Well, D-Law said earlier this week, you guys, that he was excited to get back to the way that he knows how to play defense and the way he likes to play defense. Maybe a little shade thrown there. I don't know. We're not here to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. There was some shade. There was some shade there.
We all know he didn't want to be in that 3-4, man. We know what he wanted to do. We know what he's best at.
Besides that miss on Gronk for that touchdown in the game, I thought he played great. I think the defensive line looked great. That is my opinion, though. I'm a defensive girl. I love defense. What were your thoughts? Just let's talk about the line first. Let's not get into the secondary because that's a totally different story for me.
Yeah, I thought the D-line did okay. I mean, Tampa Bay is not really known for being a great running team. We know that Tom is going to read the defense and get you into whatever he thinks is best at that time. So I didn't really expect Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones to go crazy. I thought D-Law came and brought some crazy energy last night. The dude was all over the place.
That forced fumble.
Forced fumble. He's tracking guys down from the other side of the field. He came to say, "Hey man, y'all look at me, y'all follow me, and I'll show y'all how to play." And I loved it. I thought he set the tone on our defense, and I thought it was really, really good. Another thing is we know Tom Brady is going to get the ball out of his hands quick. So, planning to get a bunch of sacks on that dude is just not good. It's not good. It's not going to work out for you. So for the chances that we had and the opportunities that we did to have to make plays, I think we did a really good job, especially compared to last year.
Yeah, I don't know who's got the record for quarterback to receiver touchdowns, like Montana and Rice and Young and Rice and Marino and Clayton, but I guarantee you Brady to Gronk is up there on the list.
They just hit 100 yesterday.
They hit
100. And it was that touchdown that you were talking about with D-Law. I mean, the Cowboys tried to be cute and they were cuter. I mean, they did a nice. I mean, that was a heck of a play there, because they were going to, we're going to confuse you, send the safety, and then Gronk blocked for a second and then took off. It was just those two guys connecting. I thought it was an amazing play.
That was absolutely just them. Yeah. That was something that they had seen time and time again, and it was like, oh yeah, they do this all the time, right? Because they're trying to get a closer run to the quarterback by hitting the C gap, and it was like as soon as they saw it, it's on.
I have to ask this: what fan base was the most pissed off last night? Because the Cowboys fan base doesn't seem to be that pissed. They're excited about what could happen. Of course, the Bucs won the game. Patriots got to be up there, right? I mean, they're like, Gronk, you said you were done, and then like you're doing this, and then Brady,
all these back surgeries and all this stuff. You were injured half the time you were here, and now you're just healthy as can be.
Washington was maybe up there too.
Now listen, this is the Players Lounge, and I am petty, so I'm going to go back to this. The most upset fan base are the people who pick Ezekiel Elliott in their fantasy football draft with their first round pick. I picked them, and then the person who picked Dalvin Cook said, "Hey man, I picked him on accident. I really wanted to get Zeke, so we traded 1 for 1. So now I got Dalvin Cook. They got Ezekiel Elliott." But that's the most upset fan base right now.
Yeah, well, and also the people who, one of the guys, I think it was Isaiah, had benched Amari Cooper.
I passed on him. I passed on him this year.
How do you bench Amari Cooper?
I didn't bench him. I passed him. I just didn't.
Yeah, I think it was Isaiah. Somebody yesterday yesterday said that they had benched Amari Cooper for this week. So I think they're pretty upset too.
And I can throw my story in there too, which could segue to the secondary, because I benched Antonio Brown. I didn't. Oh. Yeah. And, but he made sure Anthony Brown knows a little bit about him, and AB, yeah, he was outstanding. And we've been hearing reports from people in Tampa. They're like, this guy looks amazing. He looks like back to Pittsburgh form from 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, and he did. He certainly did. Yeah. He's got a great quarterback that knows how to.
Well, you think about it. Him and Gronk, right? It's like, so they got in late. Gronk had been retired. He was still trying to catch up. He had been out of the game for a while. Antonio Brown, same thing. He had been out of the game for a while. And now that they are playing, full offseason training camp, and they're looking like the guys who were at their previous teams, it's there's some trouble out there. So when you say AB, once again, Antonio Brown is going to be giving a lot of good cornerbacks problems this season, because when he was at his best, nobody could touch him.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody could touch him. So that was just, a notice to the rest of the league, like, hey, you better figure out a way to start double teaming me again like y'all used to, or this is how it's going to look for y'all when I come to town.
Brady's made guys a lot of money that aren't very tall, that are quick, that know how to run routes. I mean, he's done it with Wes Welker. He did it with Amendola. He's done it, and that's what he does. And so Antonio Brown was already a star, and then now to come in, he's got a perfect match.
How upset are you if you're Mike Evans? Because all of a sudden,
he's
number one
he's
receiver.
The third guy. Yesterday, he was the third guy.
Absolutely.
He was the third guy yesterday.
Gronk is third.
Oh, yeah, true.
Gronk is third. OJ out,
he'll get his.
Oh no, he will.
Evans will get his, because he's a big target, and there'll be mismatches. That's what I think about the same with this Cowboy receiver. Like, it'll piss off fantasy owners, but it wasn't Gallup's game. He got banged up. I think he'll be fine. But then there'll be another game where he gets 120 yards, and Cooper may not get that. So it's going to be, it'll go back and forth. I think it was a quiet 13 catches for Cooper. Relatively,
I think it was a lot of,
maybe not quiet.
It was quiet because what we've grown to know Cooper as in the last 2 years has been slants, some comebacks, some quick stuff to get the chains moving. So when he gets 16 catches and they're like 8-9 yards apiece, then they quietly start racking up, right? And then versus some of those other receivers where you see him catching 40 and 50-yard bombs, that's not Cooper's game right now.
Right.
But what he did for us last night was the Amari Cooper that I say deserves $20 million because he changed the game, and he's that guy for Dak Prescott when he needs one. When he needs one,
and not even just in his receptions. There were like 2 pretty big blocks he did for Gallup that I thought were amazing. I thought literally hands down all around. If I'm looking for a guy that I want to pay to be on my offense to, actually make the blocks, catch the ball, do whatever I need to do, get in whatever space I need to be in to make this team win, I'm paying Cooper. I thought he played great yesterday. He had the 139 yards, 13 receptions, and I just thought it was amazing. And people don't really talk about his blocks that he had yesterday. And I think if he wasn't catching the ball, he was blocking for somebody. And I really enjoyed what I saw yesterday from him. I think he is going to do his best to try to prove that he is that receiver that he's saying that he is, because we don't really know him to talk about himself like that. So I feel like if he was going to put himself in that position to be like, yeah, I'm the best receiver and yada, 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 I think he really is putting himself in a place like, no, I'm going to say this and I'm going to believe it. I'm going to do my Muhammad Ali. I'm going to think I'm the best until, I'm going to say I'm the best until I am. And that's what he did. And I thought he looked great yesterday.
I'm not going to fall for this. It's week 1.
And you said road games, and he came through on a road game?
No.
And it was a road game?
This is my guy's, this is Barry's thing about Amari Cooper and the away games. And the stats will show that year, I think it's Jason Garrett's last year, that he didn't show up for the road games. All right. Now, albeit he was going up against like Stephon Gilmore, some really good corners, but he wasn't showing up. But I've also had Amari Cooper on my fantasy team. And there have been a lot of times where it's 16 catches, 16 targets, and then there's been some time where it's like, where is this dude at? So he has to be consistent. As what he did last night, if he could continue that for the rest of the season, he could be in that conversation for the top receiver in the league. Okay,
well, we got a little off track talking about offense again, but the offense did get everybody excited. Let's get back to the secondary because my guy Jordan Lewis, if you guys don't remember, on the show on Wednesday, I said the matchup that I wanted to look at most was Chris Godwin versus Jordan Lewis. I thought they were both physical guys. Jordan Lewis actually started the game off really well. There was like a really big play at the very beginning of the game. I was like, see, this is the matchup I'm talking about. And Barry even said it too. He's like, that's your matchup, Britt. And I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. And then it kind of went downhill from there. He did end up having, that return on the pick for 66 yards. But I almost feel like that was just right place, right time kind of thing in that situation. What were your guys' thoughts on the secondary? How did you feel? Are you excited to see these young guys come up now? Because, we still had some guys that were not able to participate, especially Calvin Joseph, which I do really want to see, and I do think he'll end up winning that starting spot for corner. But what are your thoughts, Nick?
I thought Anthony Brown had a rough night. I mean, I thought he was exposed a few times, especially on the deep ball. The deep ball wasn't really anything fancy out of Antonio Brown. He just kind of get a little bit of a stutter, and it was gone. Put his hand up, said, I've got him, and he did. Great throw by Tom to get him there. But I thought Diggs was kind of what we've seen in camp. I thought he did a nice job. And Jordan Lewis is a battler. I mean, he's not going to win them all, but I mean, he's scrappy. The ball finds him. He finds the ball, and he did a good job. Jaron Kearse, to me, was a player that really stood out. And I know I feel weird talking about the defensive backs before Danny, because Danny actually has done it here on the Players Lounge. But I just think big physical safety. You know something about that, you and Barry both. And I thought Jaron Kearse did really a nice job.
Yeah, I thought the secondary, for the points that we gave up, like I said, I didn't expect us to be great because I knew what we were going up against. So I think this was it was a good test for us. So guys are going to go in and they're going to be able to see what they did on film, and they're going to say, this is what we need to fix. Like I'm going to continue to say, Anthony Brown had a very tough matchup last night. Antonio Brown is poised to be one of the top receivers in the league this year. And Anthony Brown, had the misfortune of going up against him for the first game of the season. I think that he can play better. I think he will play better. Last night just wasn't his night. Trayvon Diggs, I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I'm liking it. I like him getting his hands on the ball. I like the way that he's challenging guys. I saw him on the play that I think was Godwin caught, and we thought it was an offensive PI. He's shutting Mike Evans down. If you see Mike Evans running the out route, he's right in front of him, right on him like white on rice. I'm like, I like to see it. I will say this. Some things that you watch and you think that it's on some of the guys in the secondary, you'll see Micah Parsons out of position a couple times where he's supposed to be underneath some of those in-cutting routes, and it looks like it's on the cornerback, but he's supposed to have help there. It's not supposed to, like Tom Brady's not supposed to be able to throw a bullet. It's supposed to have to go over somebody's hands, and we saw that happen a couple times. Micah Parsons will learn from that, and he will be in the correct position moving forward in the season. So I think it's positive. I think it's positive. I think we can look up, like I said, that Antonio Brown thing is a mix-up. Him and Tom Brady are on the same page. Gronk and Tom Brady they're going to do that to a lot of guys. But I think if you're looking for us to battle and not blow coverages like we did last season, I think we're all right.
I mean, what if Trayvon Diggs gets that interception at the end of the game?
Right.
It would have been an amazing play. It was just flying in the picture. Everything's different about this whole team. The secondary, that would have been 5 turnovers?
We tackled last night.
Yeah, you're right. We
broke on the ball. I'm gonna say we minimized it, but it wasn't crazy yards at the catch. All right, so they saw the quarterback throw it. They broke on it. They made those tackles. We got some 3 and outs. Like you said, we got turnovers. We've been talking about turnovers since I played. Yeah. We haven't, and that was 2010, right? Yeah. So and we came out and we get 4 last night. We get 4. The last one counts. The before halftime counts, but the ones,
Hail Mary,
the ones that I'm really talking about are the ones that
counts on my fantasy team when I had Brady.
But as far as us being able to create those type of turnovers, punching the ball out, getting interceptions, we did that in game 1 against Tom Brady last night. So I think it's on the up and up. We're not perfect, but I think we got a lot of room for growth, and I think Dan Quinn will get us right.
Okay, well, we got to take another break. When we come back, we will be talking special teams.
Organic pumpkin smoothies are back at Smoothie King with at least 13 grams of protein each and 5 options to choose from. It's easy to find a favorite to help you reach your goals, like the new Keto Champ Pumpkin, packed with a whopping 23 grams of protein and 9 net carbs. It's a quick and nutritious meal on the go. So order online or through the app for pickup or delivery. And power up with pumpkin and protein. Official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys. Smoothie King. Rule the day.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Does your Cowboys fandom go beyond the game? The NFL Fan of the Year contest, presented by Captain Morgan, is back, and we're relaunching the search for one extraordinary Cowboys fan who is a positive influence and inspires others through their love of the game. Nominate yourself or others for a chance to win a Super Bowl 50. Win Super Bowl 56 to Los Angeles. Nominate today at DallasCowboys.com/fan of the year. Danny, you told me to come with my stuff. I have sweatshirt from NFC Championship 1992. I got my Dallas Cowboys shoes on. Okay. What do I got to do? I know there's no participation trophies here. I'm really trying to win. I got my mask, my lanyard. Are you going to nominate me now?
Let me tell you something. One outfit doesn't get it. One outfit doesn't get you fan of the year.
Should I just send you a picture of my closet of all my Cowboys stuff?
And it's from 1992.
The throwback. Yeah. That's like a real fan. If you have something from and something white from 1992, I had to make sure it was bleached perfectly.
A real fan would be able to tell you who we beat to win the NFC Championship, in 1992.
Are you pointing at me like I don't know the game or the score?
Because I don't know. Who was it?
Was it the 49ers?
Yeah.
Huh? Did you just guess that?
No, I was just thinking to make sense.
If it was a big win against the 90s, you can guess.
You could guess that it was the 49ers.
They beat the Packers in the divisional round, and then they beat the 49ers. That happened like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, they beat the Niners 30-20.
I might vote Nick to be fair.
I think that went out the window as soon as you signed the papers to work here. Pretty much.
That was my question.
You're not eligible.
That was my question on Wednesday. I was like, can employees win this?
Not eligible. No.
Okay. Wow.
You had other perks.
Wow.
So now you gonna stop wearing your Cowboys gear?
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I have to work. He suggested that I bring 2 outfits to work every day, wear Cowboy stuff and then switch when I'm going on camera. I'm not changing.
If she wants me to nominate her for Fan of the Year, yes.
Well, I can't even win now anyway, so forget it. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep my stuff at home in the closet.
Cool.
I don't like washing a lot of clothes, okay? I don't have maids and nannies and all of this stuff to do my laundry for me.
It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. You're not getting Fan of the Year. Well, that's fine.
All right. Special teams. Special teams, are they going to be able to get us through this season? Because clearly it seemed like most of the blame was put on them for our loss yesterday against the Tampa Bay Bucks. 4 points left on the field, and I honestly would argue more because I even feel like that 60-yarder originally, that wasn't a special teams problem, but Dak took that 12-yard sack, and then there was a penalty right after that, which pushed us back even more, and we ended up with a 60-yard field goal that, of course, we did not make as well. But we missed a 31-yard field goal. We missed an extra point. We lost by 2. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, those 4. Yeah, those.
That's it. I mean, I'm not good at math, but I know that's not good. We lose by 2.
This is what I will say. We are not guaranteed to win the game if we have those 4 points, but Tom Brady has to go score a touchdown.
Yes.
Different.
Which is totally different.
Way different.
Totally different.
You can Gio Bernard for 4.
Yeah.
All day. Okay. Yeah. I'm not worried about you.
Keep on throwing that. Yeah. Keep on throwing that. So the defensive calls would have been totally different if we have to keep Tom Brady from scoring a touchdown. Those 4 points were huge. Mm-hmm. And we are going to depend on those points the entire season, right? So he's going to have to be comfortable with making kicks consistently. That's what you need to do. And this is Bones' guy. So we have to have confidence in him, and your coach has to have confidence in you too, to make sure that he feels good with you making those kicks.
Oh, I think he's got confidence. I mean, well, he's okay. What's happened with Zerline? Well, he missed an extra point, and he's also hit the worst field goal you've ever seen, which is earlier, less than an extra point. So let's give him a 60-yarder. But you're absolutely right, Britt, on that. They had 1st and 10 on the 21-yard line, and Dak got a sack and then a penalty on Connor Williams, and you're kicking 60-yarder. Like, that's 3 points that probably should have been there.
Right.
The other field goal as well, the extra point. I mean, now you're looking at 7 points.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
We get was a 41-yard kickoff return. That can be fixed. Like, those things, they don't really bother me that much. It's week 1. Like I said, a lot of these guys, this is the first time that they're playing as a full special teams unit in this type of situation. So they're still learning it, and I think they got better as the game went on. They
got some positives out of it. Brian Anger is, I mean, I think there's a reason why that they really loved him coming out. I mean, because he had a really nice game. I mean, that punt, they didn't win the game, but if they would have won it, I think you would point to that play. He flipped the field position on them. C.J. Goodwin is a beast. Like, he can run. He can absolutely run. Don't know other skills that he can do. He can run. Him and Cedric Wilson did a nice job, because that was a moment where, they really flipped the field there. Good job with Brian Anger. So I think there's some positive things. I mean, the kicker missed. He had to correct himself. He kind of got himself back going again. I feel better about him than I did. Now, I asked this on the other show. If he misses the kick, the one to take the lead with 1:24, he misses that kick. Is he gone?
Why would he be?
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about right. I'm not even right now.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so. That's 2 big moments.
Which means
he's been hurt. We've cut guys for being hurt and missing kicks.
Yeah.
So I think so. But I mean, that's Bones' guy, so he has a little bit more leeway than some other guys would. So I'm not really sure. But yes, the good things. I had CJ as my defensive MVP last season.
Yeah.
That's how good he played to me last year. Special teams.
Okay.
But he's a cornerback, so I just gave him defensive MVP because our defense was not really good.
somebody had to get it.
So somebody had to get it. But I think that's every game he's going to be a standout guy. He's super fast. He knows where to be, how to get there. He's savvy with getting off some of those gunners. He's always going to make those plays. So, like I said, I'm not mad at coverage. I'm not mad at our punt return. I think CeeDee Lamb made a very good play. I think it was like 11 yards he gets on that punt return. But, those missed field goals, man, that also counts as special teams. So it's, that's what knocks you down a little bit. So we just got to make those kicks.
And I think because he did have I believe he had back surgery during the offseason. And so we didn't really see him most of preseason. He comes in that final preseason game, misses a 56-yarder and then comes into this situation and is missing more. And, everybody's talking about, it's just the first game. It's like, when does preseason end those conversations? Because I feel like maybe we should start having starters and guys playing preseason again. I know the whole Adrian Peterson, when he tears his ACL in preseason, and everybody's like, no starters in preseason anymore. But we can't keep using the excuse as the first game. Oh, it's the first game, so blah blah blah. No, that's what preseason's for. We need to figure out if this guy is consistent, if he can do this, that, and the third, and get it out of the way before the season starts, because it could, like I said last episode, NFC East is always a close division. Even last year, as terrible as we were, we were 4 and, I think 10 at a point in time, and we were still in it to win it. We literally still came down to the last game to determine if we were going to win or not, So I think one game does matter at the end of the day. It can matter. So we can't just take this first week 1 as it's the first game. Oh, it's against the defending Super Bowl champs. I don't feel like we can do that. Okay, then let's start getting guys back in preseason and start playing at least the final game, at least the first quarter, the final game, like they used to do.
Well, I will say this. With Greg, you have a vet. You have a guy who's familiar
10
with
years.
I don't know, but you have a guy who's familiar with the coach. So just like any quarterback or any veteran running back, the assumption is, we know these guys. We've seen what they could do. Preseason, a lot of times, is when you're trying, especially with losing a game, you're trying to see what these other guys who haven't got NFL experience, how they're going to play, and if they're going to be able to make the roster and help your team.
I say we go back to the old way, where it used to be the guys that are barely trying to make it play the first couple games. There's a big cut after that, and then there's another big cut. I don't like everybody staying on the roster pretty much and only cutting 5 to 10 guys right off the bat, or you know what I mean, throughout, and then waiting to the end to do this monster cut of 15 people.
Well, you're going to have to talk to
I know. I'll see what I can do.
I got a game you should watch. It's the 2016 preseason game between the Cowboys and Seahawks because their starting quarterback just got crunched over, and now.
And look what happened though. Look where we ended up.
You got to think about it. Jacksonville lost ETN for
right.
the season, and so you're taking a risk. I think that
it's a risk.
I think that the Zuerlein thing is you expect him to make those kicks. He's a vet. You've seen him do it before, and it didn't happen for him last night.
And it didn't happen for him the last preseason game he played either. So is it just all the injury that you think?
Listen, sometimes that happens. We saw this happen to Dan Bailey.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get injured, and then you're not able to kick like that.
He's out there. I don't judge kickers. Maybe I should, but I don't judge kickers for 50-yard field goals or more. I mean, if you miss.
But this was a 31 and an extra.
No, I know, but
the preseason.
But you said that about preseason,
yeah.
and I was like, did it get there? I mean, did it look okay? It was missed a little bit. I'm okay with that. You got to make some. You can't just miss all of them. But 31, not even hitting the net. I mean, that was.
Also remember that he's probably making these kicks in practice. All right, so they're not just out here watching it.
We talk about practice.
Yes, but I'm saying when you got a guy coming off an injury and you got vets and all this stuff, they're not watching them sit out here and miss 31-yard field goals in practice. He's nailing them. They're certain that he's going to be able to do
What is the timeline, and what are we how many games? And if he has another game like this, do we cut him then? What's the timeline for that? What would you guys think it looks like?
Nick, like I know, it's difficult when this is your guy. It's going to be difficult. Him and Bones are together. So usually when you have somebody pulling for you like that, you got a little bit more leeway.
But this is our team. This is like a champ. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not saying my decision. I'm just telling you that's how it goes. Danucci's still here. Who pulled for him?
That's the way love goes.
Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
Put him on the practice squad then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I've said this before. Why do we got to have the Rams farm squad when it comes to why are we the Rams AAA team for their special teams? I mean, think about it. They didn't want Zuerlein, they didn't want McQuaid, they didn't want Fossil. So I mean, but the Cowboys get them and they're like, oh, let's put them all together. I mean,
they wanted Joe D.
Right. Joe D's in right.
They wanted Joe D.
I'm just gonna stop talking at that. You know how I feel about Joe D. But I'm just saying, this whole my guy thing, that's cool for a while, but I mean, make your kicks. It's real simple. Make your kicks. And that was the ugliest. It wasn't just a miss. That thing.
Oh, I'm not vouching for the guy. I'm just telling you how it works.
That thing.
that's how it's going to go.
He kicked that to South Beach. I mean, that thing just went.
Yeah. No, I got you.
I think when it's win and losses, we can't be doing this my guy stuff anymore, this is going to be detrimental to my team, to people's fantasy teams, to whatever you have. But that is our show for today on the Players Lounge. We will be back next week, Monday through Friday at 12:30 p.m. a.m. I'll be here at 12:30 a.m. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you guys next time. I'm Britt Johnson. My boss man, Nick, is going to fire me after this episode. And Danny McCray.
The pressure is on.
The pressure.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!